We have a phone call that we want to take right now, and joining us on the phone is Representative Adam Kinzinger. And thank you so much for joining us on the phone. You know, a lot of concerns right now here in Chicago, and I know that people are hoping that the folks in Washington can put aside the politics and get something done, because it looks like our economy is taking a big hit, and then, of course, the concern for our health. What can you tell us? What do you want people to know?
Well, look, I agree with you, and the politics on both sides of this have been really disappointing to me. This is a moment, I'll compare it to 9/11 to an extent, where we need to do that and do what's right. There's disagreements on what's right. We're going to get to a conclusion today. We'll get another bill passed that's going to be helpful. The bottom line is this. A lot of these measures are being put in place because we want to contain the spread. This virus is highly contagious. And so the more we can keep people out of kind of hand-to-hand contact or take these social distancing measures, we can lower the volume of people infected, which is better for our healthcare system to deal with those that are. You know, bottom line, for most people, it'll feel like a cold, but there are some people where the complications are obviously very serious, to include potential fatality, and we want to make sure those folks particularly are prioritizing the healthcare system.
Let's talk a little bit about the economy and what lawmakers have been doing. You guys passed a package last week. What's going on now? We just had somebody on with the hotel industry talking about how it's inevitably going to mean layoffs. What's going now with the lawmakers? What are you guys trying to work on right now to help the industries that are being devastated by this?
Well, the best thing we can do for the economy is to put a level of confidence in there. Obviously, there's a lot of panic. There's a lot of people that aren't traveling. There's nothing we can do about that. But saying that we're going to be here to help, you know, businesses in this short time to go through, for instance, having loans, low-interest loans for operating costs, to the extent giving the American consumer some money to spend, these are, you know, in the package that will be negotiated today, hopefully, some of the things in there. But I think the bottom line, you know, while the economy is probably going to go into recession in the short term, the fundamentals, the housing market and the things that caused the problems in 2008 are not there. And so I think the recovery, if we get this under control in a relatively short period of time, the recovery will be actually relatively short, too, because there's a lot of capital on the sidelines that wants to be reinvested.
It's no secret that the president and Speaker Pelosi have not had much of a love fest lately. Right. And we like to think that, quite frankly, that the two of them are beginning to talk. I know that earlier this week she was talking with Steve Mnuchin. But how are things going with the president? And my concern is we got to get rid of the politics here. We got to get something done.
Yeah, I hope better. You know, look, here's been my disappointment. You know, there's some on my side of the aisle that say this is all overblown, and they point to Obama and things that happen. Some on the other side of the aisle that are obsessed with pointing out every shortcoming. I think at the bottom line is, let's put this aside. We can, in the election cycle, after this is over, then debate and vote on who had the best response. But right now is not the time. Politics is infecting everything here, not just the coronavirus is infecting people. That has to stop, and I'm going to continue to do my best to try to stop that. I think we're going to get a good bill today. Nobody's going to love it, but it'll be better than nothing, and it's what we can do in a divided environment.
How is the president doing? Because I know there's concern about his health as well. What do you know?
Well, look, I mean, I have the same concern. Nobody wants to see this. We're seeing people around him that have obviously come down, and this disease is highly contagious. So I haven't heard anything that indicates the president's contracted this. Of course, you know, we're all concerned, and we know that the Secret Service will be taking pretty intense measures to prevent that from happening.
Okay. You know what, Adam Kinzinger, we got to move on, but we do appreciate you coming on our show. And again, you know, this is going to be an ongoing conversation. We hope to keep this conversation going with you. Thank you for joining us.
Of course. We'll stay in touch. See you.
Okay. Thank you.